The most critical moment in a patient's journey often isn't in an exam room, it's on the phone. So today, we're going to dig into how that very first point of contact can make or break the entire patient experience and what's out there to elevate it from the second that phone rings. So let's do that. Let's really put ourselves in their shoes for a second. I mean, they're not calling to casually chat, right? They're reaching out because they're worried about a new symptom, they're trying to manage pain, or they're just trying to figure out the logistics of their own health. That call almost always happens in a moment of vulnerability. And in that moment, when they really need help, what kind of experience are we actually giving them? The journey they take right after dialing your number is absolutely critical. It really sets the tone for their entire relationship with your practice. So, what does happen next? Well, a lot of the time, the first thing they hit is a wall, a complete stop. They're put on hold, listening to that same repetitive music, and you can just feel their anxiety building with every single second that ticks by. Their urgent problem has just been put in a queue. Or maybe it's the dreaded phone tree. You know the one? Press 1 for appointments, press 2 for billing. They have to navigate this digital maze, trying to guess which little box their very human, very specific problem fits into. It's just so impersonal and honestly incredibly frustrating. And then there's maybe the worst case scenario. After all that waiting, after navigating the phone tree, they get dumped into a voicemail box. Their urgent request is met with a beep and a vague promise of a callback. Eventually. The connection is totally lost, and their problem is still right there, unsolved. This whole process, it's just a tangled mess of friction and stress for the patient. But what if we could unravel all of that? What if we could completely redesign that first interaction to be smooth, helpful, and, immediate? This is where things get really interesting with AI-powered communication tools. We're talking about a whole new way of thinking about that first contact. It's not just about managing more calls, it's about creating an entirely new, positive patient experience from the ground up. For example, let's take a look at a system called MedAI. So how does something like this actually work? Well, a patient calls and they're greeted instantly, any time of day, 24/7. They can just explain what they need in their own words, no menus, no keywords to remember. The system can handle all the routine stuff like scheduling or prescription refills right on the spot. But, and this is crucial, it's also smart enough to recognize when something is serious, and it escalates those issues directly to your team for immediate human attention. And when you put the two side by side, the difference is, well, it's night and day. On the left, you've got the old way, phone trees, hold music, voicemails, just barriers. On the right, you have the new approach, an instant greeting, natural conversation, and solutions right then and there. It's a huge shift from putting up walls to providing immediate access. The first and most obvious result, speed. It's just faster. Patients get what they need without all the pointless delays. Their problems get addressed in moments, not hours or days. And that doesn't just improve patient satisfaction, it can have a real impact on clinical outcomes and how efficiently your staff can work. And that speed, it has a huge emotional payoff. When you remove all that friction, you remove so much of the stress. The patient's whole experience becomes calmer. They feel like they've actually been heard and helped, not just ignored and frustrated. It just lowers the anxiety that comes with reaching out for care in the first place. But really, when you boil it all down, this is about respect. It shows your patients that you value their time and that you take their needs seriously from the very first second they reach out. It's a powerful signal that your practice is truly, genuinely patient-centered. So as we wrap this up, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Take a hard look at your own practice's first point of contact. Is it a helping hand? Is it a welcoming front door? Or is it a frustrating barrier? Is it helping or is it hurting the very people you're there to serve?